again, everyone, shall we? What are some of the challenges you have seen and or experienced with bisexuality? Seen or experienced? I would say in terms of my own experiences, I've been relatively lucky. I am incredibly out. I know closeted bisexuals who struggle a lot with everything that goes into being in the closet. I would say even being out, not everybody in my world is maybe accepting and fully embracing. Sometimes it's more of a tolerance where it's like, yeah, we're not going to hold this against you, but we're not really going to kind of celebrate it or ask you a lot of questions about it or, you know, make it a topic of conversation. And that is a challenge in and of itself because it's something that I'm excited about. I think that bisexuality is definitely a superpower. To have the ability to connect intimately with multiple or all genders is just downright amazing, right? And so it's a bummer that society doesn't celebrate this superpower all that often. There's limited, representation. So a lot of people don't know a lot about bisexuality, even though there's a lot of us out there, because a lot of us are closeted. And of course, you don't ever see bisexuality. If I'm out with a man, you'll assume that I'm gay. And if I'm out with a woman, you'll assume that I'm straight. So people just don't really see bisexuality. It's not presented in the media that often. There's a phenomenon called bi erasure that occurs a lot where we just don't have that many bisexual characters out there. You may be able to name a few. Things are getting better, but it's still incredibly minimal. So when you do come out to people and say, hey, I'm bisexual, they may not be able to think of a single other bisexual that they know, especially if they're not members of the queer community themselves. And then that can be difficult to be like, okay, this seems really weird to you, and now I'm the only representative of this that you have in your world. So like I represent all the bisexuals. And so, yeah, that can definitely be difficult as well. Women who are bisexual, that's often fetishized by straight men who just think it's hot or something like that. And then for men who are bisexual, oftentimes, there's so much male homophobia that, other straight dudes might just be a little bit uncomfortable with it. There can be issues of jealousy. There's plenty of bisexuals doing polyamory, but there's also plenty of bisexuals still doing monogamy, and that can make partners insecure, like, oh, you're going to leave me for the other gender. Somebody else can provide something that I can't. And so, that's a difficulty that bisexuals sometimes deal with as well. So, of course, anytime you're not within the norm, it's easy to feel a little bit ostracized and misunderstood, and just you're dealing with a world that maybe doesn't fully get you. But like I say, I've been very lucky. The people that I'm close to have been, at least at a minimum, tolerant of my identity. And then I have lots of awesome people in my life who are incredibly supportive and embrace that and celebrate that along with me. So the freedom to be out has, it's been phenomenal. It was scary at first. And of course, you don't just come out one time, you come out many times. It's always harder to come out to people that you've known for a while because you know that they've put you in certain boxes, and then it's hard to rock their world. It's very easy to come out to people that really don't know you because they're still kind of painting their own picture of who you are. So it's a wonderful question. Those are some of the things that come to mind. Obviously, everybody's journey and experience is a little bit different. So I don't want to speak for everybody, but that's some of the things that I've experienced along the way. You can have people try to tell you what your identity means. Oh, you're bisexual, so that means you think gender is binary, and you wouldn't ever date somebody who was non-binary, and that's not how any bisexual is defining bisexuality, or at least none that I've ever met. So you have things like that. But if you can get past all of that and the stereotypes, oh, well, it's just a phase, or if you're not attracted to all genders in completely equal proportions, then you're not truly bisexual, or, any of this other nonsense that can be out there. As long as we can step away from that, then I think, like I say, it's a superpower. So for me, it's been mostly rewarding, mostly wonderful, but of course, there are those challenges along the way. And I feel very fortunate that my challenges haven't been nearly as great as others who maybe were completely ostracized by family or just dealt with really harsh judgment from people. So yeah, it can be tough stuff. As always, build your tribe, connect with those people that get it, find fellow people who identify similarly, or maybe are other members of the queer community, that's just vital, I think. So thank you so much for asking. I appreciate the question tremendously. I appreciate all of you tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you back here next time.